Michael Marcantonini back here on the Ironbirds Broadcast Network. I've got Ironbirds pitcher Michael Forret joining me on the broadcast. Michael, I had you on for an interview last year, bringing you back this year. How's everything going, man?
Good. Very happy to be here, be healthy at the start of the year, try to continue that, and happy with how everything's going so far.
You had a really strong first pro season last year. You come in after another successful spring training down in Sarasota. You're starting off really well this year. What were some of the main focuses for you this offseason?
I think really just kind of go back to the weight room a little bit, make sure that certain things are moving the right way, revisit the arsenal, not really add anything new, but just make sure everything's the same always, like trying to get that when I throw a pitch, I want it to move the same every single time, that consistency and everything. So just, trying to master everything. And then other than that, staying healthy, making sure, luckily and happily last year, I got through the season fully, healthy and everything. But just trying to keep that going. If you can be healthy, then that's always a good thing. And trying to keep myself, out of the training room in a bad way. So making sure I'm healthy and coming into this year, just kind of seeing what happens, take it day by day, start by start, and just try to stack good outings together and see what happens.
Yeah, talking about stacking good outings, that's what you've done so far through 3 outings this year. Really thrown the ball well, just 1 earned run, 5 no-hit innings with a season-high 9 strikeouts the other night. What has been the biggest key for your success so far this year?
I think we've done a really good job, like myself, Jeremy, whether, Ethan's catching me or Stafford's catching me or if Mordon's catching, like anything. It's been, we always have a really good game plan going in, we know exactly, what the hitter's tendencies are, and then we can balance out, my arsenal, like, hey, I'm going to throw this guy this, and this, and like we stick to that. And then, I think mixing it up as I go along through the outings, not like sticking to the same plan every batter. And, maybe some batters I'm pitching super off-speed heavy, and then the next time they come through, like I'm going to try to blow them up with fastball. So I think just planning-wise has been really good. And at the same time, I feel on the mound, like my deliveries felt very streamlined, like towards the plate, feel good. A few times gets away from me, that's when the walks happen. But other than that, it's kind of just that mentality of getting in there and like just attacking them, like see if you can hit it and try to get, in the first 2 pitches, try to get weak contact. If not, set it up for a strikeout and go for that.
Well, you're generating a lot of swings and misses so far this season. And, of course, that's always a positive at any level of baseball that you're playing at. I want to dive into your pitch mix a little bit. So last year when you came on all mic'd up, we talked about the differences between your sweeper and your slider. Tell me about the kick change that you throw. It's become a big thing around baseball. Tell me about it.
So I picked it up not this offseason, but my previous offseason whenever I started at Tread with my coach, Leif. He showed it to me, as an option for a changeup, kind of worked immediately. And, it's kind of nice because with my one slider, I throw the death ball. It's super short. It's kind of like a mini curveball, but it's obviously breaking like away from a righty. And then the kick change is going to be also like in the negatives on vert, but slightly positive. It's kind of like a splitter, if anything. It's like a true splitter. But having those kind of work off of each other and just they're really great, especially when the four seam's playing really well. It's hopping in the top of the zone. Then I can break those 2 off in 2 different directions from it, but still that like north to south mix on it. So it's a very interesting pitch. It definitely is taking over baseball right now. A lot of guys are starting to throw it, but it's really nice because, I feel like traditionally changeups are mostly like right-hander is going to throw them to a left-handed batter or, left-hander is going to throw it to a right-handed batter. And it plays really well to both sides, especially, 2 strikes, just let it ride down to the plate and try to get a swing. Like, I think that's probably the most common use for it.
Between the kick change and the death ball, you're picking up a lot at Tread, and I know Tread Athletics has been a place where a lot of guys have taken their game to the next level. What has the time that you've spent there and the work that you've done there done for your career?
I mean, it's when I got drafted in 23, like I was 91, 92, maybe 93 off the mound, top in 4, maybe 5 here and there. And my pitch mix, I had a breaking ball, but it was, I'd say, average at best. Good changeup back then, which is the other changeup I still throw now. And then I went to Tread, living in Charlotte myself. I'm 20 minutes from it, so when I went home for the off season after I got drafted, I picked up Tread, and I went there, and immediately it was like, all right, we're going to keep the fastball and just work on everything else, hit the weight room, kind of revamped the delivery. So like it was almost like starting from zero and just doing a complete rebuild. And I mean, what they've done for me has been fantastic. Like Leif's the man. He's really gotten me in a good spot. You know, the velo's up from college a lot, especially consistently. You know, now having 6 pitches to work with is great, all from them. So they've done a lot for me. I give a lot of props to them for, you know, giving me the arsenal that I have now to work with. And, you know, for the future, continue going there in the off season and working on my craft there.
Michael Forret joining me on the broadcast. Michael, thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.